in my humble opinion, probably one of the greatest speakers that we've had the privilege to have in our organization. Probably inspired thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the 25 years that he's been in this business. And it's such an honor to have leaders like this in our business, because whilst we have leaders that can inspire in the way that our closing speaker will inspire, we will be stronger together and we will have a very successful future. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge, massive, clean, easy welcome. And I mean this, there is only one, but the one and only Mr. Rob Forster!
Thank you. Thank you, Clean Easy. It's funny, you know, when you come on last, you've got everyone's mess, everyone's stuff. Everyone's stuff's left everywhere. It's horrible. But hey ho. Hey, what a fantastic day. What an absolutely fantastic day. And we've heard from some great speakers today, but I've really been okay today until Maria Longwright's words and her talk, and I'm almost in tears in the back there. Do you know what? Maria touched on the single most important thing that's, for me, for the last 25 years of my life, has been the biggest thing that I value, and it's my personal freedom. The freedom that we have because of this business to be able to do what you want to do every single day of your life. None of the material things, no money, no nothing comes close. Not having to get up to an alarm clock and do what you want to do every day and spend your life in your way is the single most important thing. And that's what this business can give you. I'm going to have to try and keep to me slides as such. I've got a few pages of slides to try and keep me on some kind of track so that we get out of here for 8:30. Because it's really, really hard. I mean, Martin Bell mentioned this morning about trying to put 20 years into 10 minutes, and I've got to try and put 25 years into as quick a time as I can, because I always run over, because I get so excited and so off track, and for all I might have some slides to keep me in some kind of order, I spend too much time waffling about a whole other shit as well that I don't completely lose my way. But my first slide is just quite literally what makes Clean Easy special. Yes, it's important to keep on keeping on, and we've all gone through an unbelievable year this last year, and we've all kept on keeping on, and I applaud you all. In fact, you, us, the company staff, everyone behind the scenes, everyone at head office deserves a massive round of applause, because it's been a tough year. There's been some ups and downs, but everyone's pulled everything together. And just quickly, actually, can I have a quick show of hands? Who's had some ups and downs in their life before Clean Easy? It happens, doesn't it? It happens. So ups and downs come along. It's just how you go through them. But one thing that is quite amazing about Clean Easy, what makes it special, is it is 95 years old. And that's quite unreal. When I joined the business in 1993, I joined in 93, and the company then, just a couple of years later, celebrated its 75th anniversary. Now, I was obviously around back then, so I was fortunate enough to be able to pick up this book, the 75th anniversary celebration of Clean Easy, and it's just nice to be able to see it. I've carried it around with me for years since, because it shows that we had history. You can say to new people who've been around this length of time or that length of time, but this really did do it. It had people like, here we are, where are we? Queen. Sorry, I should have marked the pages, but I kind of just do it like this every time. Queen Mary visiting the factory in 1941. You had the current Queen Elizabeth visiting the factory in 1956. I know you can't see it from the back, but I'm not lying to you. I mean, would I lie? And some of the old products throughout the years, it goes through all the different years. Margaret Thatcher visiting, love her or hate her, Margaret Thatcher visiting in the 70s. And then we had some of the famous Clean Easy people across the years, like one of the first Clean Easy trips I ever went on was, I was sat next to a fella called Gerald Fenn, and he asked me whose group I was in, and I said, oh, whose group are you in? And he just said, oh, the Fenn group, and I'm like, oh, lovely. Then I find out Gerald Fenn had been in the business since November 1940. The guy had been around since 1940, and then we had like Jim and Vera Nicholson, I met them, and the wonderful Jill Nicholson, who's become such the best friend anyone could wish for in the last couple of years with me. And it was just amazing. Now, Gavin Scott, when he was way younger and his ponytail was way longer. And it's just fantastic to see this, Bob Webb, so many others of these, what I saw at the time were famous people. But I was around when the 75 yearbook came out. I'd just joined, I'd not been in that long at all. And then here we are now celebrating 95 years. In 5 years' time, we're all going to be in this place, or a much bigger place, excited and sharing ideas, because we'll be celebrating 100 years. It's exciting times. And another thing that I've actually got, which a little bit of history, Sat might want to borrow this off me later, actually. Someone did ask me, actually. They asked me the other day. I took her to a meeting in, I don't know where I was, at Peterborough, at Pete and Jackie White's meeting, and I was walking from the car park up to the room, and someone says, "Rob, what's that?" It looks like something from what do you call it, 50 Shades of Grey. And I thought, God, I'd never seen it in that kind of way. But now I only see it in that kind of way. It's actually... If you squint, you might be able to see it. I very much doubt it. But on the handle here, it says Clean Easy, 1928. And it was my great aunt's. And sadly, when my great aunt died and my granddad was cleaning out the house and he come across this, even my granddad saw this, he says, "Hey, Clean Easy, isn't that thing what Robert does? Give that row, Robert." Because they call me Robert. It's with an I, Robert. Give that row, Robert. And it's Clean Easy 1928. But for us people in the Northeast, if you don't know already what it is, this is our version of a Dyson. Because up north, we're a bit behind. I'm from the northeast of England. I spent the first few years of my life when I left school in the shipyards. I used to be a shipyard blacksmith. But this was actually you used to put your carpet over the washing line, apparently, and then whack your carpet and get all the dust out of your carpet. So this is like I guess it's a northeast version of a vacuum cleaner, a Dyson. But it is lovely to have it. I've travelled, again, from this, which gives us our history, and this, I've carried it around since, actually. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But another thing that makes Clean Easy special, apart from our history, is what's been mentioned so many times today by just about every single speaker that spoke. The camaraderie, the loyalty, the friendship, building friends that like in my case, had friends for 25 years or more now. I don't know anything else. You people are like my family. I love so many of you. I don't know everyone. Mind, I think most of you were in Jimmy Spice's last night, just off Broad Street. I think I bumped into most of the audience in there last night. But what's lovely is, I guess more people know our face when you've spoke on the stage than we know yours. But it is lovely when people just come up and say the nicest things. A chap, and I don't know his name, I feel terrible, in Andy Stevenson's business, I think, came up to me last night, an older chap, and he says, "You know something, I haven't made a fortune, but I've been in this business for 10 years, and all I've done is deferred my pension, and I've been able to pay off my mortgage." And I thought, wow. I said, that's just such a fantastic story, though. That's a fantastic, life-changing story. And he just come up to us when we were eating and just said, I absolutely love this business. He'll be around here somewhere, because I'm sure he was with Andy on Andy Stevenson's table. But it's those kind of stories that make the business special. It's stories like Nicole and Richard. I don't mean this disrespectfully at all, but the children, the kids. My kids are 23 and 25. My two children are 23 and 25, and that's exactly how old Nicole is, 23. So to see them come in the last 18 months, and you heard the story earlier, do what they've done in this time is just absolutely incredible. And that's what makes Clean Easy special, because it doesn't matter where you come from or what age you are, you can do what you need to do with this business if you just apply yourselves. Another thing that I've mentioned before, young people coming through like Nicole and Richard, people like, oh, I'm going the wrong way, sorry, that's me on the clicker, nervousness. Gold distributors. In our business, Abby, she was gold distributor at the age of 19, and we were all on a conference out there in Miami, and she was buzzing that she had this beautiful yellow, it was like a prom dress, evening gown, whatever you call it, Cinderella dress. That's what she called it, actually, my Cinderella dress. And seeing Abby just in Miami, buzzing, absolutely buzzing at being a part of all of this, then I'm thinking, yeah, it must be. To be only 19 years old and exposed to this business and this lifestyle already is incredible, because I was going on for like 28, 29 when I come across it. You know what I mean? I was getting on a bit. You youngsters like Nicole and Richard and Abby, it's just phenomenal what you've got ahead for yourselves. Absolutely phenomenal. You can build this business at any age, and that's what makes Clean Easy special. And people like these. the party animal that is Peter White. We went on a cruise one day in Miami and we just about drank the ship dry. But again, at any age, you've got the party man of Peter White and then the very glamorous Jackie White there. Again, just being able to work their business, build their business and spend every day together in their 70s, it's just absolutely amazing. And I know they won't mind me saying that, and Peter might not actually be 70 yet, but it's there, mate, it's there. It just doesn't matter what age you are, neither. And another chap that I met years ago, one of the oldest people in Clean Easy, Bob Webb, sorry, not Bob Webb. Bob Webb would be the most successful person in Clean Easy. No. One of the oldest people in Clean Easy, a good friend of mine, John Hawkes, one of the first meetings I ever went to in Newcastle, Gavin's Opportunity Meeting. It's a bit like this. No. There was about 25 people in the Cairn Hotel in Jesmond, and I can remember being there one night. I was 28-year-old, I'd just joined Clean Easy. I'd been from a shipyard background, and Gavin had been a shipyard fitter, and I'm coming along to this meeting for the first time. But one of the first meetings I went to, I met John Hawkes, who was from Milton Keynes, because his accent wasn't from the northeast. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing all the way up here then? He says, oh, I'm just coming up to try and learn. And I'm thinking, wow. And got on chatting with John at the bar, and he was 58. So I was 28, and he was 58. And this taught me a lesson throughout my years of Clean Easy was, it didn't matter where you come from, because I was from the north, he was from down south. I was right next to the coast. You know, if you put a compass in where I live and draw a 30-mile radius, half of it's underwater. John was more inland, right? I had a stupid crap education, really. John was highly educated, had his own business, really intelligent person, and yet all those years and miles apart, there was a 30-year age gap between us, yet across the next 25 years of our business has gone along together, and we've achieved pretty much the same things in the same time with a 30-year age gap, different part of the country, different backgrounds entirely, and that taught me another lesson throughout all my 25 years, that it didn't matter where you come from or what your background was, anyone could make it. You didn't have to be a special person, you just needed to put in a special effort. But what you will get, because as I say to people all the time, Clean Easy works for anybody who works at it. There's no question about that. There's too much success. There's been some great success stories covered today. And Clean Easy works for anybody that works at it. However, you will get distractions along the way. You're going to get people come up to you and say, this is the best thing since sliced bread. This is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, what are you messing about with that for? What, got yourself a proper job? I've had this from all of my family. My stepdad was one of the cruelest people to me. Some of my closest mates tried to put me off the thing. And then one lad who joined this at the networking thing, and I'm not going to mention its name, I'd only been in Clean Easy about 2 years. Two and a half years. And this lad had joined this networking company. We still, it's the best thing since sliced bread, Rob. You could make a fortune at this. And I was earning about I was earning about £2,500, £3,000 a month or something. That's all I was earning back then. And he says, but Rob, I would walk away from it. I'd walk away from it because you could make a fortune in this, because it's this and it's that and it's the other. Let me tell you a little bit about what it was. One of their products was a shampoo. And I'm talking in 1995, 96. I'd been in Clean Easy about 2 or 3 years. Their shampoo was £47. I can remember saying to him, because he was called Christian, I says, Christian, £47 for shampoo. And he's like, it's not just shampoo, Rob, it's a complete hair care treatment. I says, a complete hair care treatment, are you off your... I says, so's Vosine, and it's about £1. £47 for shampoo. I says, do you know what, Christian, where I'm from, with our Dyson, I says, where I'm from, £47 would get you a little car with about 6 months MOT on for a few months. I says, I don't know anybody in my circle who would pay £47 for shampoo. And then there was other skin things like a, facelift in a bottle, and 28 quid for this, 47 quid for that, 35 quid. And I'm like, Christian, I don't know anyone who would buy them kind of things. I really don't. So I stuck with my little Clean Easy thing with our everyday product, because that's another thing that I think makes Clean Easy special. We've just got everyday products in a little catalogue, and you know what? Our stuff sells itself. Who agrees with me? Big show of hands. The stuff sells itself. It doesn't get more simpler than that. So I found a little button. You know how Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump have had a bit of conflict with who's got the biggest button? Well, I got a button years ago for when people like Christian would call me, and I'm thinking, I wish I had it back in 1996, because now if Christian came at me about his £47 bottle of shampoo, I just need to press my...
Warning, bullshit alert.
So my button has an entirely different use than Donald Trump's. But it kind of does the same job. Rob, we've got this mascara and it's £28. Women are going to love it.
That was
Rob, it's a complete hair care treatment.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
We all need one of them buttons for these kind of people, honest to God. Anyway, another thing, right, I'm going to get started now and I'll go really quick. Martin, honestly, the first page was my kind of run-in bit. Another great thing about Clean Easy, it gives people hope. Hope was mentioned today by a couple of speakers already, and it's something that people need. They need that every day, even if they're in a horrible job, and a horrible set of circumstances, and a horrible, perhaps, financial stress or whatever. They need to have some kind of hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone needs hope, and Clean Easy can certainly give people that. And when you think about it, there are a lot of people out there looking for what we have to offer. They just haven't come across it yet. And very, very simply, and I've always said this for all my years in Clean Easy, what a way to make a living. The more people you help make money, the more money you make. What a way to make a living. So write some of these little one-liners down, because my job today was to try and give you a few one-liners, little tips, bits of advice, things that have helped us make our business work and reach the levels we reached, and also incorporate a little bit of my story of why it's worth keep on keeping on. Because my God, it is. We'll take a few notes as we go along, because these little one-liners and some of these notes will change your life. The fastest way and most effective way to build your business is to contact your warm market. I can't stress that enough. You must contact the people you know. It would be crazy not to. Don't prejudge people, because that's what will get your business off to a really fast start. I've got some figures here. I've skipped on my thing because I'm gone the wrong way. Be proud of what you have to offer. Now, I can't understand not being proud of what we have to offer, because straight away people can join this business and get involved from day one and make themselves some money. And with what the ups and downs and the difficulties that we've had this last 12 months, which are all behind us, as has been said, it's in our past now, we just have to focus on the future. I've got a little stone tablet thing that I brought off my desk. Again, this is kind of a northeast thing. We still write on stone tablets. But and again, yeah, I know you can't see it, but I just picked it up at last minute and got it off my desk. It actually said, write this down in your notes, because this is important. If we all did the things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. If we all did the things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. And if we just go with that in 2018, we will turn this thing around like you would not believe. This simple stone tablet. It's kind of what we have in the Northeast as a post-it note. They're just a bit thicker. Anyway, yeah, be proud of what you got to offer. Now, all we have to do is work hard, share it with our people. And I'll tell you what happened for me. I joined Clean Easy halfway through a sales period. So week 1 and week 2 were already over. I joined on week 3. I ended up giving about 7 catalogues out to some neighbours and friends. I got those catalogues back after a couple of days, and I'd done £142 in orders. I was so excited that the stuff had sold itself. 142 quid. A lot of people have done far more than that in their first week, but that's all I did, and it excited me. But I also sponsored a couple of people, and collectively we did £900. The following week, I didn't do as much myself. I was busy with work and everything, but collectively we did about £1,700. And then my first full month in the business, I'd been in Clean Easy 6 weeks, we ended up doing £10,074. I was floored at the excitement of it, because I still had a day job, and that very first check that I ever got from Clean Easy, I went to the shop and got it photocopied so I could go and show people that it was working. And there, again, I know you can't see it, but the statement used to come like this. The check used to be perforated, and you had to tear it off and go to the bank and take it to the bank. Can you imagine you had to take it to the bank yourself? But that's what we had to do back then. But £10,074 here, 1993. There you go. And that was my very first check in Clean Easy. And you know something? In my opinion, that's probably one of the most important checks. And it doesn't matter whether your check's 300, 500, 200. The first check that you get is so exciting, because you can show people a check with your name on, and my God, the thing is working. So, £10,074 was our very first month. I was excited. I thought, will it work again? Next month we did 11,225, and then the month after we did 20,700. And 2 of the people that I'd introduced, one was a coal miner, ex-coal miner, one was a car mechanic, normal lads, normal people. They both went gold, and we ended up being bronze executives. Again, so excited, but we were just young people believing in what we had hold of and just working at it. That's all we did. We just worked at it. Some more exciting jumps that we had in our time. 1 month we did 24,995 as a little team. The reason I want to tell you some of these different figures is because different people in the room are at all these different sort of levels. And I want to explain to you that if you work hard, work right, keep what you're doing duplicatable and exciting, these are the kind of jumps that you've got that lies ahead for you, and I can guarantee it. This month we were doing 24,995, and I was frustrated that we'd missed 25,000. I'm like, oh, I can't believe we've just missed 25 grand. How ridiculous is that? The very next month, it was 37,000. The month after that was 67. The month after that, 76. I'm like, oh my God, people are starting to do it now. People are starting to copy. People are starting to understand what we're in. The very next month, here's a few, sorry, not the very next month, but another period when we had some really exciting jumps. One month, we had 115,000 little team turnover. The very next month, it was 140. The month after that, it was 160. This was blowing me away now. This was this little part-time thing that everyone kept telling me I wouldn't work, I was wasting my time, who's going to join, who's going to do that? I'm thinking, do you know what, I'll just keep on keeping on, I'm going to do things my way. I didn't listen to anybody who tried to put me off, and the jumps just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Another month, our team was turning over about 260,000 a month. The very next month, it was 370,000. The month after that, 450. And then a little while after that, we're running at about 500,000 a month. The very next month, these are monthly jumps that were happening at the time. Then 750, 870, and then we topped 1 million. What got us there was the fact that it just wasn't complicated. Everything I did, everything I said, everything I taught, I really, really believed anyone could have copied what I was doing, or even a better job. They might think, oh, I could do it better than that. Great, great. But the thing was, we kept it so easy and duplicatable that we had that kind of momentum going on. And the same will happen now. Some people it's happening to right now. The 30-30 mini people, it's just phenomenal. Just getting stuck in. How come some people can do that? And then some people saying, I can't sponsor anyone. It's an attitude thing. It's all what's up here. It really is. As long as you keep it simple and not too complicated, okay? Another important thing is to work together and give it time. So important. Don't fall out with each other. Don't let your ego become bigger than your business, and just do what you got to do. In fact, we all need to work together all the time. It was mentioned earlier. It's so important. We just need to work together and support each other. There's no secret in this game. I've said that for 25 of my 25 years. There is no secret. We're all doing the same bloody thing with the same catalogue. We're offering the same video, the same marketing plan. We're all doing the same thing. And you know what? There's so much room for so many more people, because people haven't heard of Clean Easy out there yet. Some people, they still haven't. But here's some of the simple things that we taught, right? Take responsibility for £1,000 a period. Now, again, that's not a lot when you break it down. It's $250 a week. $250 a week, that's just 25 customers-ish spending a tenner. That's not hard, is it? When you think about it, 25 people have spent £10 with you each week, and you've done 1,000. Now, whether you do that with catalogues or you do it online or a mixture of both, taking responsibility for £1,000 a period is not hard. And then all you've got to do is share that idea with a few other people. Okay? Here's a little retail plan that we have used for years and years and years, and it's quite simple. It's been mentioned even earlier today. 200 catalogues twice a week. It works, guys. It just works. You'll gradually build up your customers. You heard from Sat. There's times when he went out and got no orders out of 300 books, and then other times it was phenomenal. You've got to go with the ups and downs of it all. But 200 catalogues out twice a week. If you look at the hours, it's a couple hours here, a couple hours there. Collect them back in, do your deliveries. 11, 12 to 15 hours max. And you could be earning about £400 or £500 a month just on your retail alone. That little tiny example there shows about 460. You'd earn about 460 with your commission and your bonus, okay? Get to a level where you've got about 50 inquiries a week coming through. And then this is the important part. The fortune is in the follow-up. Now, in the olden days, when people used telephones, we used to have to phone everyone and try and catch them live. We've got things like all kinds of social media now, texting, WhatsApp, everything. So your follow-up might even just be a WhatsApp message or a text or whatever. You can't get hold of people with a live phone call. Still follow them up with texts or emails or on social media, because the fortune is in the follow-up. You must follow up the information you send out to people. And then here, all you have to do is get to a level where you've got 15 or 20 people. Not all of them are going to be ready to work and do the thing and crack on with it. They just don't see it all at the same time. But out of 15 or 20 people, you might have 5 or 6 people who are ready to go with it right now. Work yourself a regular retail plan, and you can turn your business round in absolutely no time. Have a target to sponsor 10 active wide. 10 active wide, people offer you who are actually doing the do, putting orders through, and you consider them active. So 10 active wide, and never stop. Just keep doing that. As one of them reaches the gold distributor level, just keep on working on being at least 10 active wide yourself. It's very, very profitable and just works. And here's just some of ours. These are people that were literally sponsored as new people, born into our PSG, and then gradually became gold distributors. And then some of them went on and built massive teams and have become SEDs and beyond. But our 9 front-level gold distributors were a friend of mine, my brother, a delivery driver, somebody from a 3-foot rule, that you just speak to them, or vicinity, if you like. Somebody from an advertisement, our cleaner, a breakdown man. I'd left the lights on my car one time, shut it in the garage. I thought it was on automatic, but it wasn't. A breakdown man came, started the car. He ended up joining. I then bought a big Jeep, and I'd left the lights on the roof on there one time. Got the AA out again to fix that because the battery had gone flat. Another AA man. So these were just normal people in the course of our lives. 9 front-level gold distributor legs, 5 of which became like SEDs or beyond. So normal people that you're going to come into contact with. And here's an important one. Your turnover will be in direct proportion to the amount of people that you have turning up at meetings. Meetings are so crucial for people to get to know each other. They really are. And speaking of meetings, actually, Jay Singh, who runs the Wolverhampton and Birmingham meeting down here, I'm going to be back down in this area in January. Jay Singh's Birmingham meeting is the 30th of January. And Jay's Wolverhampton meeting is the 21st of February. And I've said to Jay, I'll come down and support these meetings for you because the population down here, and let me say, you're all invited if you want to come along. Check on the company bulletin with Jay's details, but get along to the meetings, and everyone should be supporting each other's meetings. Let's all start sharing the meetings that we're doing on the company bulletin, and then where you can, turn up and support that event. Because when you're down, the meeting needs you, and when you're up, the other way around. When you're up, the meeting needs you, and when you're down, you need the meeting. They're so important to building a great business, okay? Here's another good one-liner. Make a difference in one person's life every day, and your life can change forever. I love that. Because you don't have to go out and do a massive, just one every day, do something. Give this thing the respect that it deserves, get smart at it, understand the marketing plan, understand how you're going to make your money, understand how to help your people make the best and make it be as profitable as they can. Understand the thing. Learn. Get smart at it. You'd have to do it if you were doing a degree or if you're doing a car mechanics course or an electrician's apprenticeship. You'd have to understand it. It's the same with this. And another simple thing, you can fit Clean Easy around your life or you can fit your life around Clean Easy. One will give you an income, the other one will change your life forever. The choice is yours. And it is yours. It is your choice. You know, you don't have to work at it all day long, every day. You don't have to. But you'll get out of this thing what you put into it. And some of the books that you need to read along the way, very quickly. I haven't got time to cover the books today in any sort of depth, but The Basics by Don Failer, absolutely cracking one. The Fundamentals by Ed Ludbrook. Anything by Jan Ruse, all good stuff. The Rhinoceros Success. Some of these, I'm talking like 8 or 10 books that will absolutely change your life. Change your life. This one here, Beach Money, I brought it along with me today. He gets on about your life is like, if you compare it to a yardstick in his American way, 3-foot rule basically, and 1 inch representing about 2 years of your life. What he's saying is, in our business, your most productive work in life is between 20 and 65. And most people work really hard for all those years, then retire, and some people retire broke or retire and die, and they've not really had a life, and it's now you're already at the end of your yardstick. You haven't got much time left. Yet in this business called network marketing, which is illustrated up there in red, in 2 to 4 years, if you get stuck in this kind of business, you can free up having to work for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter where them 2 years are in your life's journey, in 2 years you can turn your life around completely. Now, this guy says in this book, and it's really interesting, I'm just going to read from the book here. He says, I built this business in the old days, before the advent of the internet. I didn't even own a computer at the time, yet today we have tools and technology that can accelerate the growth of any business. But the fundamentals of building a business have not changed. Technology is important and can streamline the processes of growing and managing an organization, but the fundamentals of relationships do not change. I see many young entrepreneurs struggling with the fundamentals of growth in network marketing. Their biggest problem is leaning too heavily on the internet and technology to build their businesses. Many will completely abandon the basic principles for growth and trade them in for automatic systems designed to scoop up in mass quantities. They expect technology to do the work for them. Inevitably, they are baffled of how to attract a large group of loyal entrepreneurs and keep them for the long haul. It's just such down-to-earth, realistic stuff. And I'm thinking, God, that's so right. And then a few of the points he says up here. A few points to consider. You must have a plan and stick to it for 18 to 24 months. You can build a serious income on a lunchtime schedule. Usually your big income growth will be tied to the work of 1 or 2 people. Very true. To find the 1 or 2, you must sponsor and train at least 20 to 30 people. Another important point you make, 60 to 90% of the people that you show your opportunity to will probably not be interested. And technology will not replace the fundamentals of building a successful business. Also, regardless of how financially tough your situation is, you can turn it around in 18 to 24 months. It's just life-changing. There'll be 2 or 3 pages of a book that can change your entire attitude on what you've got hold of here. But please, 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 I mean, I'm not selling books. Get them from Knowledge is King, get them from Amazon, borrow them from your upline. But please read the books and learn about this business, because it will change your life forever. Very, very simply, he says, get a few distributors, get a few customers, and teach those to do the same. Another thing he touches on in the book is he keeps everything so simple. This is what I love about his book. He says, if an 8-year-old can't understand it or do it, don't do it. That's so, so true. You've got to keep it simple that anyone could copy. And when I started the business, when I came into this thing in 1993, I was in a mountain of debt. Some of it I didn't even know about at the time, but it was a nightmare. £43,000 of bad debt, 7 county court judgments against us, and just life was in a right pickle. That's why I joined. These were some of the letters that we were getting when I joined Clean Easy back in the early to mid-90s. You know, county court this, county court that, behind on your poll tax, cars getting repossessed. It was one thing after another. It was so draining, it was untrue. But I didn't tell a single soul about it at the time. I was just trying to motor on through it and get through it and just try and keep everything upbeat and positive. I'd never even read half the books back then because I was still so new. I just naturally tried to keep things positive, thinking no one wants to hear my bad news. I'll just keep on keeping on. I'll just soldier my way through it. But because of this business, how the letters changed. A few years later, and bear in mind, when things were tough, and I'd spoke to the bank one time, says, oh, is there any chance you can clear me a cheque because I get paid on Thursday? I'm sorry, Mr. Forster, you should have thought about that before you issued the cheque. I'm sorry. So therefore the cheque bounced, and then you get about a 35 quid charge. Oh, please. Times were so tough. And then I get this sort of letter a little few years later. Dear Mr. Forster from Lloyds Bank, dear Mr. Forster, it's great to hear what a success your business has become. I'm writing to introduce myself, and I'd like to come along. He came to me house. The bank manager person had come to my house. I thought, God, how things have changed. I purposely got the Bentley out the garage. I had a 7 Series BMW as a runabout, everyday runabout, and I squashed them so close together that when he pulled up outside my house, he had to squeeze between both cars to get to my front door. I thought, you'll see a bloody change, pal. But because I had been so frustrated when I had no money, and they wouldn't even help you when you had no money, and then now, when things turn round and your life's starting to get a bit better, they're all over you. Another letter, how times had changed. Dear Mr. Forster, it was a pleasure to hear you've recently bought a Rolls-Royce Silver Surf, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking, you think it was a pleasure, mate? You have no idea what it took to get to this place in my life. I'm a scrawny little lad from the shipyards. I'm from a 3-bedroom council house, and I'm not knocking council houses. I'm not saying that at all. That's where I'm from. My mum and dad, I lived in the 3-bedroom council house, and I worked in the shipyards. This was life-changing things began to happen to us because of this business. And then I finished up in the Sheffield Star newspaper because we ended up moving to Sheffield and spent a few years down there. And then I finished up on the front cover of a magazine. And again, talk about exciting. The magazine people had rang me for an interview or whatever, this national magazine, to see how I was doing and my story. And then the guy said, I'll send you a copy when it goes to press. And when the copy came through the letterbox and I was on the front cover, I nearly ran up. I ran up the house like a kid. You'd think I was 7-year-old. It was like on Home Alone. I was running around like, I'm on the front cover. I'm on the cover. Oh my God, we need some extra copies to send to people. Because I was just so excited. This business, this whole thing had turned my life around so much in what I saw, really, in such a short time. And then I had this brochure. This is what's really interesting. Everything you've heard about goal setting today from Fiona and all the other speakers about visualizing it and how the universe has a way of bringing things up, bringing things to you. This brochure I had wrote to Rolls-Royce for. It's got the date in the back of it, which again, you can't see it, but it's 1977. I was a child, I was about 13, and I'd wrote to Rolls-Royce saying, can you send me a brochure, right? And this brochure, I turned it like that, and it is just the original brochure of this car back in this 1977. And that was pinned above my bed. I was on the bottom bunk because I was the fattest. But that was pinned above my bed from age 13 to when I left my mum's house at about age 23. And it went into a box of car magazines and stuff. And like, do you know what? That picture there is that brochure, right? Now, everyone was telling me I was wasting my time, and I'd been a daft, crazy kid who'd loved Rolls-Royces from being 7 or 8-year-old. I just loved them. But what's exciting and how things do turn around in your life, that's that brochure, and then that's my Rolls-Royce driving down our drive. So just a few years later, just by applying a few basic things, we were literally living the dream of like childhood dreams. The other really spooky thing is, look at the trees. Look at the trees. We even had a tree-lined drive, almost 1/4 of a mile long down to the house. Anyway, moving quickly on, because I think I'm just about to be out of my time. life had changed so much. There we are there. Here, and in fact, the day I went down to London to pick up the car, I drove to London, I bought the car, I was so excited. I went all the way down to London, picked up the car, but I then forgot, oh God, I'm doing a conference call tonight for Pete and Jackie White. So I literally pulled the car out the showroom, drove round, parked up in a side street, and I did a conference call for Pete and Jackie White's team when I bought that. For you young people, a conference call was when you actually spoke words into a phone. And the very first outing of that car, I'm sitting in the back of it doing a conference call for Pete and Jackie. I was so excited, and they probably can remember that call because I must have been on cloud nine. I think I was floating on the interior roof of the car while I was doing the call. I was so excited. But yes, our life changed dramatically. Absolutely, incredibly, because of this thing called Clean Easy. We ended up moving into a 7-bedroom farmhouse in 14 acres. Absolutely gorgeous. There's another picture of the back garden. I've got this really big pair of step ladders. I went out and took this picture just for today. No, absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe I lived there. So you know when people say to you, it sounds too good to be true. I've thought that for 25 years, and I'm in it. So don't take any notice. Too good to be true? Of course it's true. It just works. If you work at it, it works. And you know what else I found? When we moved into the farm, and I had loads of boxes of stuff from previous house moves, I came across my school report. And I've got to share it with you because I'm so embarrassed, but I'm not. Because if there's one thing this will maybe reach 2 or 3 people in the audience, it doesn't matter what your education level is. You can make it in this business regardless. You can have 3 degrees and a PhD, great. Or you can be this thick, right? Anyone can make it. This is my school report. A deplorable set of results. If Robert transferred half the energy he employs in trying to avoid work to the tasks set in each subject, success will be guaranteed. Right? Head of year. I've had many talks with Robert about his work and attitude to school, etc., but to little effect. A tragic waste of real talent. Form tutor. A very sad waste of real ability. Right? Here we go. English. After a good, unfortunately brief start, Robert's efforts have decreased to the point where they are virtually non-existent. He has been tempted away from the consideration of his future by the transient glitter of the cults of today's youth, and without guidance he will come to rue it. Mr. Conroy. Right? Mathematics. This is a disgraceful set of results. This is a disgraceful result due to an attitude which has probably declined during the year. Robert is throwing away any chance of showing his true ability in maths. French. Well, in a little northeast village, there's not many French people. And as a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, I just didn't get it. I'm thinking, why do we need to speak French? We don't even really speak proper English up here. Why do we need to speak French? I really didn't get it. My God, now I wish I could speak French. I wish I could speak German. I wish I could speak Spanish. I get it now. Anyway, French. This result reflects not so much a lack of ability, but as a regrettable attitude towards class discipline, a deplorable approach to the subject, altogether a disgraceful state of affairs. Okay. Biology. Robert is not without ability, but has shown little effort or willingness to learn. Physics. There is something wrong here. It's shocking, isn't it? It's so bad. History. Robert is an able, intelligent pupil who should be doing better. Art. Well, I liked art. Excellent. PE. Well, you've only got to look at me. Do you know what I mean? PE. Frequent absenteeism has stunted his progress. Right. My point is, it's disgraceful, but it doesn't matter. Because this business can take anyone from anywhere to wherever they want to go. And that's my point of today. They can take anyone anywhere. So, moving on, I'm trying to tidy up as I go with all my little tools as props as well. I'm doing ever so well. I'm tidying up here. There's a tip. Tidy as you go. No, so we live on a farm. I buy this 4-wheel drive thing, absolutely crazy, because we kept seeing them in Florida every time we went on holiday. I'm like, oh God, I've got to have one of them. That's insane. So I had one of these stupid things. Don't buy one. Don't buy one. I mean, I got one when they first come out, but probably wouldn't want one. Nobody would want one now. But 9 miles to the gallon. That never, ever went to 10. Ever. It just did 9 or less. Unbelievable. So please don't waste your money. And another, again, boyhood dream, I had the little Airfix model. Harley Davidson's was daft on them. You know, we used to watch Chips, the motorbike thing when we were kids. And I'm like, oh, I'd love one of them. Love one. So that was the Harley Davidson. Again, there's a long story to that. I haven't got time today. But there's my Harley Davidson. It was the 2003 100th anniversary edition. I was so excited to get one because they were really rare. And then literally I was in Florida used to get the odd Harley Davidson t-shirt when you were in Florida. And I went into the Harley shop in Claremont, where we then bought a house, because we had a house over there. And I literally walked in, and there was exactly the same bike in the shop in Florida. I went in for a $22 t-shirt and come out with a $26,000 or whatever it was motorbike and a bright orange t-shirt. Anyway, took that big American Jeep in for a service one day, and it wasn't ready, and I trudged around Manchester putting cards and flyers out around car parks. I phoned them up and they said it still wasn't ready over at Bauer Miller's, the American car dealer. And I thought, I'll go to the Lamborghini garage, I'll get myself a cap and a keyring and a mug, because I want a Lamborghini one day too, because I'd also seen the film Cannonball Run. And you get caught up with these things you see as a child, it just doesn't go. You get it out of your system later, like when you pay for servicing. Anyway, that was that was Thursday, and then this was Tuesday. And even I thought, what have I done? It's £154,000. It's only got 2 seats, and it hasn't even got a boot. You couldn't put a starter kit in it with catalogues, because back then we were delivering our own starter kits. It wasn't automatic, and you couldn't. There was nowhere. It would take a little briefcase, the boot, which was in the front. You could open that, and it would take a little slimline little case. Absolutely ridiculous, really. But yeah, servicing. First service 2,600. Second service 7,500. I know, that was me in the shop. I'm like eyes out. By my friend's daughter had just bought herself a 106 Peugeot for about $7,500. I actually said to the lad in the Lamborghini shop, I says, my friend's daughter has just paid that for a car? My car was the same, it looks the same as when I dropped it off on Friday, and I've got to pay $7,000. I says, that's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. But it was fun. And that was one of its first outings, actually, down to Tewkesbury to Jill's seminar on one particular Sunday. That's really funny, actually, as well, because I bought that in 2006, and I don't know if you can remember, but 2007, it never stopped raining. We had the wettest year on English record. Sheffield flooded, the Meadowhall flooded, football stadiums flooded, Tewkesbury flooded, and I'm driving around in my very first convertible with an umbrella, thinking I will not be defeated. I didn't really. And then bought a bit more of a practical car, and again, the number plate. In fact, it turns out the number plate is probably worth more than the car. But that was, again, a boyhood dream. I used to have the little plastic fake one on my bedroom wall. And then some of the trips that we've had with Clean Easy, I can't bore you with them, and I'm definitely going to be running out of time. So I'm talking faster just to try and get through the last hour. That's not. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Watch this. Trips with Clean Easy, we've won, across our time with Clean Easy, we've won about 30 different destinations. And they really are everything every other speaker's told you about them. They are 5-star class. You can't put it into words, but you have to, because you've got to try and convey to people how bloody clever these are. But you know what? In Clean Easy, they could take 50 of us to Bognor Regis, we'd probably have a fantastic time. But when they take you to somewhere like Miami or Dubai or wherever, India, you have a ball. You must get on these trips. Anyone who's been on a trip so far, just give me a big wave. Yeah, now stand and shout if you definitely would not miss another one. Wave, yes. Guys, once you've been on these things, you wouldn't want to not be on them. This was us on a trip with Tracy and Harvey, who just won the Mini and cash there. That was us on the beach of Dubai. Harvey just inspecting the spirit level must be slightly out on one of these buildings. And then here I am sitting next to the Burj Al Arab thing there, which was just absolutely fantastic. You're seeing things that you'd only seen as like icons on TV when it's like the fireworks at Dubai or something like that. And we were seeing it in real life. It was just absolutely fab. And I actually took this picture on my mobile phone. Going up the center of the Palm, when the monorail turns right, you get that view. And that's just took on a Nokia phone. I've got it as my screensaver at home. It's absolutely stunning. Some of these buildings and places that you're taking are absolutely incredible. This was us on a tour around Miami, just literally floating by on this little yacht with a free bar, as we remember. Well, we remember getting on, but we can't remember getting off, most of us. And it showed you around the stars houses and through the streets of Miami, the waterways, rather, of Miami. But through the streets of Miami, we went to an American football game and we took on coaches, but we had like 3 or 4 motorbike outriders that literally blocked the road, and they just like how you see the president go through a town, or the Queen or something. They literally just blocked every junction, so our coaches just travelled straight from the hotel straight through. Talk about feeling like royalty or feeling special. We're just a bunch of Clean Easy people who put catalogues out and teach others to do the same. It was absolutely incredible. So that's Pete and Myrna Wellock with a couple of the Harley Davidsons. This is just a typical car in the car parks of the places we've gone around the world with Clean Easy. It was always Rolls Royces and Mercedes and Porsches and Cadillacs and Lamborghinis. Unbelievable venues you get taken to. And then I went to a meeting in London to meet our new American owners a couple of years back, and ended up in the Great Wall of China. But that's a much longer story, and you'll have to buy me and Jill a drink, and we'll tell you how that happened. But I literally went to a Hyde Park hotel, and Jill says, "Oh well, I'm in London. You could come and we can go in together on the train," and blah 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 blah. Anyway, then finished up in China. But again, what a fantastic trip. It's not normal, is it? What a fantastic trip, and what a fantastic friend she has been to me over the last couple of years, because it's just been a bit tough, some things. But what a wonderful, wonderful, clean, easy pal. We just picked up and went to China just to get away from everything and, personal shit, like just some tough times. But as everyone said prior today, tough times don't last, tough people do. You've just got to make the best of it. But we've seen places of the world, because of Clean Easy and because of Clean Easy money and because of Clean Easy friends, that I would never ever have dreamt of being able to see or do. And then things that I've been able to do for my family, again, because of this business. My mum had never had a new car in her life. My stepdad used to always whinge about her using the car anyway that they did have, but I thought, well, I'll buy her her own. So on my mum's 60th birthday, I turned up in Durham with a brand new little car for her. That's my mum coming out the front door, walking down the drive. That's me and my two kids giving my mum her car, and that's her little Peugeot. And do you know what? At that point in my life, I mean, my mum's 74 now, so 14 years ago, I'd never paid £11,600 for a car of my own. Ever, 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 ever. And yet we could just easily go out and buy my mum a birthday present, a 60th birthday present of a brand new little Peugeot car. Absolutely phenomenal. And then that's her with the little 60 badge on the steering wheel and the little birthday cake that sang happy birthday. Now, again, when I was going through the toughest times, my toughest times, when I've had to go up to my mum's and say, can you lend us a couple of pounds? I need to go through the Tyne Tunnel. I've got no money. Or when creditors of the 7 county court judgments and those people came knocking at the door, and I've been standing at the door saying to some collector, look, I've just got no money. Is there any chance you could come back next Thursday? And my mate was in the kitchen, and he just would stick 20 quid through the door. And oh, there you go. But people helped me out when I was literally at rock bottom. And one of the most exciting things I was able to do, apart from my mum's thing, which was a birthday present, was my best mate who would help me out when I really was on rock bottom. I went to the American car dealer where I bought my yellow car, because his dream car when we were little kids was a blue Corvette. He always used to say, oh, if my dad wins the pools or wherever, or when I get older type of thing, electric blue Corvette. Well, I tell you what, there was nothing like the buzz I had going to Bower Miller's in Manchester and buying an electric blue Corvette, driving it on that Monday morning up to Durham myself. It's the scariest drive of any car I've ever done, because it wasn't going to be mine. And then I just drove into where he worked, and one of his pals shouted, Steve, Steve, Steve. Well, they'd seen me pulling in different cars and bikes and that I'd bought myself by now, but everyone knew I wouldn't buy me an electric blue Corvette. And when Stephen came out of his office, I just said, can you give me a lift home? And Clean Easy. Clean Easy's done so many things for me, for my kids, for my life, but the joy it gives you to help other people is phenomenal. Because when we were kids, we used to knock about on shit like this, where you'd make it out of an old pram with a bit of wood, and then here we were now as adults. And I've known this lad since I was 10-year-old. With what we'd only ever seen we'd only ever seen this stuff on telly, in films. Anyway, fantastic time with the kids. My two kids are the two in the middle, and the two other kids are John and Janice Holsalt's two kids. Absolutely fantastic, just holidays. These kids have grown up because of Clean Easy, going to Disney World to the point where they were bored. I can remember Laura saying to me, Dad, do we have to go again this year? I'm thinking, God, it was my dream to do some of this stuff. And the kids, they literally grew up with it to where she's like, oh, Dad, I'm not bothered about going for Christmas. So I ended up taking my son and my nephew, Mickey's cousin, because Laura didn't want to go. She'd been so many times. So the kids have quite literally grown up going over to Florida to Disney World. And then I did another really fantastic holiday at the time. My uncle, my mum's oldest brother, moved to Australia in the 60s. And I did a proper surprise and landed at my mum's house one day with 2 tickets for Australia. Well, I was going as well, but for them too. And then my uncle was expecting us going to Australia, but he didn't realize I'd brought my mum. So that was just a magic holiday that, again, it's not about the money, but Clean Easy enabled that to happen. And that moment and that time that we all spent together was absolutely fab, because my mum was able to see my uncle's grandkids, who she'd obviously never seen before. It had only been photographs. And then a little short while after that, for the Christmas of the very same year, we ended up taking my nana to Disney World, because she'd said, God, we never got stuff like this when we were young, all these trips away that you all get. So I says to my mum, well, let's take my nana for Christmas. So me, my mother, my sister's 2 girls, and my nana, we all went for Christmas, and there she is meeting Mickey Mouse, there she is meeting Santa Claus, and we just had the most fabulous time. But then we lost my nana the next August. That was her last Christmas. So, thank you, Clean Easy. We couldn't have made that happen. And then my little girl, who, again, I've drove around in old bangers for cars, 200 and 300 pound cars that you just hoping gets you through next month, never mind a year. And then I didn't want Laura, when she was on the road, to not have a decent car, a 17-year-old little girl out on her own in a car. And that was a goal of mine throughout my Clean Easy time, to be able to buy a new car when Laura was 17. Anyway, we just pretended, because she wanted a yellow Beetle. She says, my dream car will be a yellow Beetle one day when I pass my test and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we go to the VW garage, but I'd already been there the day before because I'd already bought it and tied balloons and teddy bears and stuff to it. But Laura thought we were going to pick up a brochure on a Beetle so she could set a goal, because I taught them to have goals and set goals for stuff they want, and thought she was just going to be picking up a brochure for a yellow Beetle about 2 weeks before our birthday. It was a couple of weeks before, I think, and pressed the button in the VW garage and the car come out the floor. So that's Laura's 17th birthday present. Thank you, Clean Easy. Absolutely fantastic to be able to do this for your kids. And what I would say about kids, some people don't have any motivation for things for themselves. Then let your kids be the driving force then. Think about what you can do for your kids' future, how you can affect them. For our 18th birthday, again, I was able to pay, because of Clean Easy, a trip to Australia for her and her boyfriend. That's her climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And then that's her and her boyfriend whitewater rafting down the Barron River. We'd done all these things on Clean Easy trips, but I was 40-odd-year-old and had won them. Here, my little girl was only 18, seeing these places in the world, which was just phenomenal for us to be able to do that for them. There they are on the Great Barrier Reef, and there they are in the water at the Great Barrier Reef, 18 years of age. To open their mind and open their life and open their eyes to these things I'm so proud to have been able to do that because of this business. And then obviously a year later, my son was 17. He knew he'd be getting a car because I couldn't not if Laura had got one. So his was a done deal. He used to text me something different virtually every week. Oh, Dad, I fancy one of these now. Oh, Dad, I fancy one of them. Dad, will I get mine before my birthday? Dad, will it be this? You could keep it in your garage until I was 17. You could get it now. He changed his mind so many times. And then in the end, he settled on this yellow Corsa thing, which fortunately he still wanted by the time I'd bought it. And that was him picking up his 17th birthday present. And then, again, him get the big badge saying 17 on the wheel. And you know what? That was him just before. He's 16-year-old. He was 19 stone. But again, he just set a goal one day and said, God, Dad, I can't believe I'm nearly 19 stone. I'm gonna lose some weight. And 1 year later, he'd lost about 9 stone. Absolutely incredible. I can't believe the change in a person. But he had got a new girlfriend, and there was obviously a lot of exercise going on in his little bedroom. So he didn't half get himself in shape. And then you can't really probably see this picture very well, but on that little, Laura had always wanted to be a nurse from being tiny. She always wanted to be a nurse. And that's her gran. And one Christmas, our gran had bought her this little nurse's outfit, but it's got Laura embroidered on here as well. Now, obviously, we've had that photo on the wall in the family for years. But I was so proud when just a few years ago, she texted us a picture of her, the very little selfie she took when she got her nurse's uniform, because she'd spent 3 years in Edinburgh at university studying to be a nurse. She is just so proud, and I am so proud of her, because she's always wanted to be a nurse. You see, not everyone wants to be a Clean Easy person. Not everyone wants some of the material things or whatever. But just seeing your kids get what they want, achieve what they want, and follow some kind of path and some kind of dream is so rewarding. It really is so rewarding. And they grow up so quick. Just bringing things up to date and to almost sort of finish off. About an hour, I think, left. I'm nearly done. This is a recent photograph of us at Scott's birthday, and then last year Laura got married. That's my son, my daughter, and her husband at the side there with the beard. This is me and Laura dancing on her wedding night. Scott just thinking he's Lord of the Manor because we were in a Scottish castle. And then I took this beautiful picture of Laura just on my phone while she was talking to our friend, and I love this picture. I've got it blown up on a canvas on my dining room wall. She's just absolutely beautiful. I'm so proud of them. Here they are on top of the world. They went on a honeymoon to where did they go? They went to Cape Town, then a week up near Johannesburg on a safari, then Mauritius for a week, then Dubai for 4 days. It was like, where did they not go? Absolutely fabulous. But again, to see them enjoying themselves and having an absolute whale of a time, it's just such a buzz, such a buzz. They're two absolutely fantastic kids. And then moving things on a bit more, Scott went and had a baby. Well, Scott didn't. That would have been on the news. Scott's girlfriend had a baby, and I'm now a granddad last year. And it's like, really? I only feel 25. How can it even be possible when in my head and everything about me feels 25, and I've now got a 23-year-old with a baby? So that picture there is my mum. It's 4 generations. My mum, Scott, me, and the little one. Rory, he's called. Absolutely fantastic. Now, what I've tried to do, as quick as I've been able to do it, and I'm sorry for overrunning, but what I've tried to do is just explain and maybe give you a few bits of tips and a little bit of advice and give you a snapshot into the life of a clean, easy person. Because I don't know anything else, and 25 years of my life has gone like that. Like I say, I still feel 25. But look what a life this business has given us, and how it's touched so many other people's lives because of this business. The question I've got to finish off on really is just, what do you think I think of the guy that showed me Clean Easy? Well, it's given us this. I absolutely love them to bits. Because someone shared this business, and it has changed my life, my kids' life, and thousands of other people's lives. Now, what I want to say to you today is, you've got exactly the same opportunity in your hands to change not just your life, but thousands and thousands of others. I can't thank Alan and Elaine Moffat enough for what they've done for changing my life. I love this business, I love you people, and just make 2018 the best you can make it. Thank you. Thank you.
The absolutely amazing Mr. Rob Forster. There's no one like him, there never will be. Inspires hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Thank you, Rob, really appreciate it. And just, you epitomize everything that is good about this amazing business.